All right, thanks to everybody that joined today. My name is Mohammed Bashir. I'm a Specification Account Manager here at ATS Spec. As part of our theme for doing different seminars every month, today we have Jeremy Lawrence from Mark Supply, who's going to be presenting PTAC units from Frisco. This presentation will be recorded, so that we'll send you the recording after, and also a certificate of attendance that you can use toward your PDU hours. If you have any questions during the presentations, please let us know. Use the Q&A options, and I will stop Jeremy to relay your questions. With that being said, thanks again for joining, and Jeremy, you can take over.
Great. Thanks for inviting me to come and do this this month. It's always a great group, and it's always important to get this new information out. So some of you maybe have been on a previous version of this first company PTAC presentation. There are some new and exciting products that are coming out, which is why we wanted to do it again and give an update. So yeah, like he said, please jump in with any questions and he can interrupt. And so my name is Jeremy Lawrence. I'm a business development manager from actually Mark Supply, and we are the stocking distributor of First Company here in Ontario, Canada. And we work very, very closely with First Company building business in this area. Their First Company has been in Ontario for over 30 years. We have probably 40,000 units in the market right now running, and new opportunities for working with engineers and architects like yourselves every day to continue supplying and servicing these products. So a little bit about First Company. First Company's been around since 1966, and they are headquartered in Dallas, Texas. These are their only manufacturing facilities. They are only manufactured in the United States, and they fully developed from R&D through to shipping, everything within their own business. One thing you'll notice about First Company is that you may see their products branded by a lot of other companies. They are a base manufacturer who allows and sells to different businesses to provide their products out to a wide range. Just about any configuration of air handler, fan coil, both residentially and commercially sized, are out there in the market. Like I said, it ranges from 3/4 of a ton all the way up to 25 tons of air handlers and fan coils. These are a few different configurations of their systems that you'll see out there. They do all types of heating and cooling, hydronic, electric heat, heat pump, gas, as well as some of the PTACs we're going to talk about, as well as DX cooling chilled water systems. Today's topic is focused on the PTAC market, which continues to get bigger and bigger and more diverse. There are many different manufacturers out there, and they all try to do it a different way. So we'll talk a little bit about First Pack at the end, which is a newer product. It's probably been out for about 3 or 4 years now. It's built around the same platform as Magic Pack, Napoleon Condo Pack, that style. So a little shorter, wider, and coming in cooling only with electric heat, heat pump with electric heat, and there is a 95% AFUE gas model as well, which is certainly, that's the most popular one up here in Canada. Eco Series units here in the middle, we're going to talk quite a bit about them. The new exciting new addition to these is they've finally come up with an inverter heat pump version with electric heat. The way that these units work is similar to this model here. They have a hot water coil put right on top, so it can be done in an addition. And then the Fresh Pack series, which is basically an Eco series with an integral ERV built into it as well. So heating, cooling, ventilation, all built in. We are very excited for when the inverter makes it to that unit, which is the next step. And we're expecting that to come kind of mid, probably this time of 2026. So they do a pretty wide product line. Fresh Pack is the ERV models. Cool Pack is either cooling only or heat pump. the new CoolPack heat pump with the inverter drive compressor, and then the Aqua Pack, which is that hydronic unit, which is very, very common, especially in retrofit models. Certainly, we're seeing more and more heat pumps every day. They all do have, regardless of ERV built in, they all do have a damper option. So fresh air is always available at the time of install. And cooling efficiency is up to 12.5 EER and 16.5 SEER. So there's lots of benefits to PTACs. We've all seen these mess of condensers on roofs or on taking up parking garage space or anything like that. PTACs can fit right into the wall. You'd never see where the PTAC is, but it's up behind this painted grill up in here, fits very neatly into the decor of any building. And then, of course, comfort, adding those ERVs into the system and packaging all into one. Not only does that provide a single source of heating, cooling, and ventilation for the space, but it also makes it much easier to monitor and bill, putting on metering services so that you can bill each individual apartment separately. Once installed, they fit neatly into small closets. They do need to be on an outside wall because the condenser, as you'll see in the following sleeve, the way the sleeve fits into the wall, the condenser does need to exchange fresh air from outside. They can either have short amounts of ductwork like this one with the return air panel in the front, or can be ducted further into the room, servicing each bedroom, kitchen, bathroom is much more normal than we would see. And it fit very, very neatly into the closet. This actually, as you'll see, this is actually even more space that is required for the unit. But it's very common to have a full-size door on it. Some outside views. These grills can come as just a plain stamped aluminum and can be either left that way or painted on site to whatever color the building is planned to be. Or First Company is partnered with Sherwin-Williams and can paint any Sherwin-Williams color code in their factory so that they arrive pre-painted, ready to go. And they do a very nice job of blending into the building so that they're not an eyesore. And they just become naturally part of the building. How they fit together into the building. The structure of the building goes up and there's a pre-planned wall penetration. In this case, rough dimensions, 44 inches high by 21.5 wide for the sleeve to fit in. The sleeve comes with a cardboard block-off panel. So there's very little air exchange through the winter months. And then usually you put the sleeves in, and then a couple months later, you're ready for the units. A big feature of the way that First Company does these PTACs is that these architectural louvers or grills, they are installed from the inside of the building. So regardless of the height or the configuration of the building, these can be installed from inside, and no one needs to be hanging off the side of the roof or on a boom lift or cherry picker. So the grill gets installed from inside and screwed to the sleeve, and then the unit sits onto the sleeve. The sleeve is weight bearing and becomes part of the drainage system as well. So in cooling, any condensate that's created during the off the evaporator is drained down to the bottom of the unit and then into the sleeve, where you can see here it's trapped, and then would be piped to the closest sanitary drain. As well, the way that this sleeve is designed is if this trap or drain was to be plugged, the sleeve is designed to overflow water outside instead of into the building. So a double protection. And there are also overflow protection switches that can be added to the unit to actually shut the unit down if water gets to be an issue. But they are designed to drain into the sleeve and then out exterior to the building instead of causing any damage inside. As with the louver, because we need an exchange of air, any water, snow, moisture of any kind that gets past the grill will hit the condenser coil, drain down, and then back outside as well. So there's no way of water getting past these units. Like I said, we've been installing these units, the Eco Series specifically, for over 30 years in Ontario, and we just have never had any water issues from exterior. The entire condenser section, this bottom section, is open to air through the condenser, keeps the compressor cool and quiet. All insulated cabinets. There is an additional insulation panel kit that can be added if we're concerned about cold weather or frost or anything like that. But even in northern installations here in Canada, we even then we rarely use them. Never seems to be a problem. Return air is pulled straight from the room. There is a duct kit if you wanted to duct the return air straight off the closet door. However, it is preferred that the return air is left open with the filter accessible. One, because the filter is accessible, but also because how it fits into this closet, the closet space becomes part of the return air and avoids keeping that airflow, avoids any water or condensate building up on the exterior of the unit in cold operating temperatures. So that's a great benefit as well. So as I said, the sleeve supports the weight of the unit. It is one piece and shipped as one piece. There's no legs because these triangle supports are in place to hold the weight of the unit. There is a side access sleeve. If you needed to install this unit from the side, there's a side version that doesn't have these triangle supports. And there is a separate support that would comes underneath and cradles the unit. However, more considerations need to be taken if the side install is preferred, because we do need to make it known that cradle support needs something to secure to, right? So if we're doing a concrete structure with steel studded beam or steel studs aren't going to be able to take that weight. So more often we would try to find ways to use the rear access sleeves, which as shown. And otherwise, you would need to put some blocking in behind the wall that would allow for that unit to be supported. Side view, like I said, the rear access sleeve has this triangle support, carries the weight of the unit, 3/4 inch MIP fitting coming off the bottom of the sleeve for easy drain connection. In this Eco Series, without the built-in ERV, standard duct connection off the top. The ERV units, the Fresh Pack units, they have what First Company has done is they've actually built the sleeve so that the ERV ports are integral right into the sleeve connection as well. So we use the condenser fan motor to assist in ventilating the ERV, acting as a concentric vent kit. So we maintain our no mixing of fresh and stale air, but we don't need 2 more wall penetrations for an exhaust and a intake fresh air. That all can be done as part of the sleeve. Both top and side ports are available, but just because of trying to keep the closets as small as possible, fresh top ports has certainly been the most popular over the last few years. Closet sizing. If we're doing a rear install sleeve, which is when we're pushing the unit straight into the sleeve as this, we only need 3 inches on either side. Very, very tight closet spaces. We know that condos and apartments and spaces are sold by the square footage these days. So we want to keep that livable square footage as much as possible. The First Pack unit, which is that Magic Pack, Condo Pack competitive model, shorter, wider footprint, it needs a wider closet space as well. If you were doing a side install and the door, the wall was here and the door was on the side here, we would also need a larger closet, approximately, well, it'd be 3 inches on this side, 12 inches on the front, and 12 inches on this side, because the unit actually has to get up onto the sleeve, then turn before it can push in and seal to the sleeve. So more space is needed. I've taken most of this between First Company providing this information and spec sheets. The First Company's website is excellent for providing all the latest documentation. And certainly if you have any projects that you think this may fit, please reach out to myself or your ATS rep, and we can help you choose the right configuration. Along with the sleeves, one of the last things we do before we order for any project is we need to measure the outside wall. Because of the difference in variability from one project to the next, we could have First Company build sleeves with wall thicknesses between 5 and 24 inches. So we have about 5 sleeve sizes so that we don't have there's no one size fits all for these buildings. We want to make sure that the closets are as small as possible. So we have about a 4-inch window to play with. And it's very important that we get accurate information on how thick the wall is going to be so that we can order the right sleeve and it will fit into the wall as designed. Louvers, they're there to protect the condenser coil. They are they deflect in 2 different directions. We do get questions about this fairly often because normally you would never put a grill with the louvers facing up like this. Because of the way the sleeve is designed and how it is able to remove water, it's not rain getting in through this sleeve is not a concern for us. It is more of a concern that we do not have air recycling. So the condenser fan pulls through the top and pushes out the bottom, and it doesn't mix and circle back through. The new addition. So, like I said, for the last 30 years, we've been working with these units with a single stage compressor. Very simple on-off basic controls. They have now just this month launched this new inverter drive system. Gives us much lower heat pump operation down to 0 degrees Fahrenheit, variable speed, and up to 16.5 SEER2 operation. From our old units, all sizes between 1 and 2.5 tons. Our ER was 10, SEER was 11.9, and HSPF2 of 6.3, and just tremendous increases using a variable speed inverter compressor. They are rotary compressors. So pushing up into 12.5 EER, 16.5 SEER, and 9 HSPF2, which I believe meets rebates for the US market. It does come with an optional communication thermostat, which we will strive to use whenever possible. It does operate the inverter compressor using smart technology of what the building actually requires at that time. You can use a single stage or multi-stage 24-volt thermostat, but you do lose some of the comfortability. And then it also, using that communicating thermostat, gives us fault code and diagnostics. All the Eco Series units without the built-in ERB have always come with a side fresh air intake. And typically what we would do in this situation is if this 4-inch intake wanted to be used as an intake, we would pair it with a modulating or a normally closed damper so that it would turn on and off and pull in fresh air anytime the evaporator fan is running. So fresh air is always an option, very important. The Fresh Pack, this unit has certainly been, up until this new inverter model came out, this has been our most popular model in new builds. It 3/4 all the way up to 2.5 tons, up to 10 kilowatts of electric heat, or 50,000 BTUs of a hydronic heat, of course, depending on water temperature and flow rates available to the unit. Very efficient 12 EER, 3.5 COP, and low ambient down to -15. And again, with an ERB built in. The ERB core conveniently installed right above the air filter, and all connections easily made within the closet. Automatic frost protection modes, and this system operates using the ASHRAE ventilation program. So we typically will use a Honeywell Wi-Fi thermostat that will run the entire heating, cooling, and ventilation modes in one control, but push button timers and some of those other ERV, HRV controls that you're used to seeing are available as well. Piping configurations, as you can see, top port installs are more common because of the space saving that they operate. There is a duct within the sleeve that when the condenser fan motor is pulling in fresh air below, it is pulling it up and then into the ERV. It can either be fully ducted and the stale air can be ducted from the bathrooms, kitchen, laundry room, etc., or it can be just released into the supply or pulled from the return space, which is the closet, up to your configuration and your application, how you'd like to see it. But just like any other ERV that you're used to seeing, any installation application will work. Side install, same deal, but with the connections on the side, bigger closet space is required, which is why we don't see many of them, but same options available. Carbon dioxide and humidity sensors are also available to control the space if we found that or if it was required for your area, and easily wired in with 2 wires for each terminal to run these systems. They've recently actually simplified these controls and startup. There was a USB Wi-Fi stick that was required for every install, 1 per project, and that you'd use that USB stick to program each of the ERVs upon commissioning. They've actually just simplified all these controls, and that's no longer required, which was great news. Also great news because when they incorporated some of these simplifications into the system, it actually came with a price decrease, which is so rarely seen these days. But First Company is committed to be bringing these technologies to the market as competitive as possible. First pack units, we'll touch a little bit on these. These ones are much more standard. No ERV built into them yet. They are built to combat those Magic Pack and Condo Pack units that are out in the market, and they've done it a very, very smart way. Modular heating and cooling systems. So if you're working, if you're doing an apartment and the cooling fails, the whole cooling section slides out of the unit. You slide a new one in, and then this system could be repaired either in the mechanical room or back at the contractor's shop, so that we try to limit downtime as much as we can. Same the heating. If we find a heating system has gone down, if we don't have the part that day, we can slide a whole new heating section in without replacing the whole unit to get them up and running, replace the part, and then keep that spare for the next time we need to make a change. Sleeves come shipped flat, much smaller than the Eco Series sleeves. They don't. They still take the weight of the unit, but they're really meant to just to seal that gap between the wall and the unit. Same louvers for the condenser air exchange. The only change here is that the FPG N9, which is the natural gas 95% efficient unit, has the exhaust hole penetration right there, so that it vents out through the grill as well. Because these systems are meant to operate in cold temperatures, they've added 2 extra low wattage heaters within the condensate system to ensure predictable condensate flow throughout the winter operation. And that's it. Very quick product overview. Happy to dig into any of the details. Yeah.
Awesome. Any questions? No questions. What I'll do is I will share my screen. I will show where you can find those products on the spec tool, and also show how you can send in a request as well if you need assistance with any of your projects. So. Perfect. All right, so right here is your dashboard or your landing page for the spec tool. The first thing that we always try to highlight is the next webinar that we're hosting. So for example, today is the PTAC presentation. We also sometimes we'll keep a recordings of the previous webinars as well. But if you start a new project or a new, let's say, for example, a new quick spec, and you'll be redirected to the product category page, and just a quick search, you can just search air, and you can see the air handler units or your PTU units as well. And over here, you can configure your selections for everything that you need. But this is something that we can help you with, and Jeremy can also assist you with the full selections as well in configuring those products. Now, to send in a request, you can either send in an email to your account manager, or we have added the request to build option, where you'll be redirected to this page where you can just add your email address, the project name, where it's located, and if it's a full takeoff or if you're looking for a specific requirement, any details, what you would like back from us. And then if you want to attach anything and when you would like it back as well. And someone from our spec team will be able to assist you with your spec request. And if you're looking for a PTAC unit, they'll be able to configure it and put everything together for you. Any questions about the specification process or the PTAC units in general today? I guess we were very thorough with everything today.
Must have been.
Yeah. Awesome. Perfect. So we will reach out to everybody. You will get a recording of this presentation. As I mentioned, we'll also send you your certificate of attendance by the end of the week. And if you have any questions, please do reach out. We'll be more than happy to assist you with any request. Thanks again, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jeremy. Appreciate it.
No problem.